Welcome to readtheticker.com. Introducing the private blog called Wyckoff 2.0. This is part of the RTT Plus subscription. The why. Markets are dominated by humans who buy and sell, therefore suffer profits and losses, enjoying euphoria and suffering despair. Wyckoff logic maps out the most important moments of supply and demand, and therefore the most psychological, critical chart points. Knowing your chart allows you to better judge entry, stay in longer, and exit correctly. Wyckoff logic is the roadmap of the composite man's trading action. To those who don't know, composite man is made up of all the large accounts, the whales who move the market. Now, if you go to market timing on the main blog, you'll see a link to a high-level summary of RTT Wyckoff 2. And simply put, it is a unashamed navigation of price action with Wyckoff logic. We cover the phases. We look at the campaign phase where the composite man is trying to accumulate stock float. That would obviously result in a markup of prices. So here's what we call a cause or a consolidation, and here we have a markup or higher prices. Composite man wants to accumulate float of those who are uninformed, the weak hands, to move prices up because he knows prices are going to go higher. Now, for those who have RTT Plus access, will be able to see RTT W2 or the Wyckoff 2 blog. Looks a bit like this, so we're just starting out. And up the top here we have pop-up image references, which are very dense Wyckoff logic explanatory type images. Now, a critical one for those members who are watching this is number 8. It explains, it's got highlights of entry points, E1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Understand the classification of entry points and the Wyckoff logic rules around that. So what we're trying to do is really map out our chart that mirrors this type of process. Causes, markup, signs of strengths, buying climax, selling climax, automatic moves, to get an idea of what a live chart is doing. So at the moment, we would go to our Wyckoff 2 first sample. We're going to follow the most popular symbols. And I think we're going to look at gold here. Now, Wyckoff 2 characteristic is obviously Wyckoff logic. And what we're doing is we're using Wyckoff logic in its rawest form. That is from the educator of Bob Evans. Now, Bob Evans was a man who lived and was educated by Richard Wyckoff. And Bob Evans put into detail his learnings of Richard Wyckoff logic. So there's really no other educational material first-hand from Richard Wyckoff himself available. That Bob Evans is the man. You can get his information via Wyckoff Institute, but we'll be applying his methodologies as best we can. First, we'll have our Wyckoff phase chart, and this is GLD or gold. We've broken the phases down. I'm not going to get into too much detail what's going on here because I just want to highlight the service. But phase A is simply the stopping phase. Phase B is the tire out phase. Phase C is the readiness to move phase. And phase D should be the bias to the bulls phase, which shows a sign of strength. We're just trying to work out what's going on here now. And just for those who see a B3 here, B3 I've marked here a volume spread analysis type analysis where you'll go up to B3 would be box image number 3, box number 3 explaining what's going on. And now because it's Wyckoff 2.0, we have a characteristic. We like to put our Gann angles on here to work out what's going on in a weekly chart. And also we have some high level analysis on momentum and strength with our volume weighted indicators to see what's really going on, to allow us to time. So what we see here, we have a cause, and as you can see time starting to work out, and the rate of change is allowing price to move up. We have a few other symbols. We'll get other symbols on the logic. We have copper here, and we'll just monitor a cause to see how it breaks up to the effect and so we can profit and enjoy the trend. One of the best things about Wyckoff logic is that you are interrogating the roadmap of price action. And once you understand, what's going along the road, just like driving along a road, but between states or what have you, there's a turn here, there's a bend there, there's a rise there, there's a fall there. You can understand it. Whether you want to stay on the chart or stay with the position, you have a fair idea what's coming because you understand the psychological turn points. Hope you enjoy that.